crypto asset? Bitcoin is the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best? There is no second best.
This is Discover Crypto. Every day on this channel, we teach you how to make money with digital assets. Smash that like button on the way in. I'm your host, DZ, here with TJ, and we got to talk about the altcoins that are dumping. Is it over? Is Bitcoin going to retain the glory, or is everything about to crash? And is there a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for 9 particular altcoins that we're going to reveal? TJ, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Good to be back. Missed you guys. The last couple of days, we had a lot of moving parts, stuff moving around, things we're doing. I don't know. Have you told the people we're potentially
No, I haven't mentioned it too much. So TJ's been away. And folks, let us know. How do you like the new stream? Do you like the DZ only streams? Do you like it when Josh is on? But they've been busy. TJ's been busy. We're about to change locations. We're going to have a new everything.
So we might be, we'll probably, right now the plan is to keep the set generally the same. We might switch it up a little bit. So let us know if you guys have ideas on that sort of stuff. We generally like to change things every once in a while.
Now, the main question is going to be, TJ, is why?
Why are we moving?
Yes.
Just different location, different, we need to go through. Main thing is, what's nice is we're going to go through all the stuff that we have here that we've accumulated over the years, and we've used some, haven't used some. So that's mostly what I've been doing the last few days.
The employees are stealing all the Twinkies and, just stealing desks and computers.
Yeah.
I did ask for permission to take a rolling cart this morning. So I'm part of the grift.
Yep, there you go. So no, it's good. You are really enjoying the new show. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're still gonna have probably, and I'm curious if you guys liked having Drew on. I think we're gonna for a while be keeping this DZ in the morning, Drew in the afternoon, and then Josh in the late afternoon, I guess, kind of like 10:31 and 4. So
shout out to North Carolina. Shout out to all the states. Let us know where you're at. We're going to be looking at a few geographically sound stories as well. And I got another story. We have an update on the Colorado crypto pastor that stole from his congregation. There's an update on that story. We're going to share that. That's interesting developments. And Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, frontman of Black Sabbath. There's actually a crypto angle. There's something that is surging today. The sales volume's going nuts. So we're going to look at that as well. Did you heard about the Ozzy Osbourne news, right?
Oh yeah. I covered it. Yes, I saw it almost within minutes of it coming out. So sad times, but also not necessarily, shocker. But yeah, got to be one of the best to do it as far as you think. If you think about that era, people like hearing, Black Sabbath, riffs and stuff back then, it had to be blow their minds. I feel like that kind of was that era of rock, at least, was kind of peak for rock and roll. So
all right. And people come from all around. I'm from North Carolina, lived there for a long time. Alaska's in the house. Looks like we even got OH. That's what I heard is what you're supposed to say.
That's what they do in Ohio.
That's what they do in Ohio. OH.
Okay. Well,
IO. All right. Well, let's look at OH. Oh, hell. Look at Bitcoin's price, everybody. We're talking about crypto's crash. This is 5-minute candles here. And you can see last night, this is the 7:20. So around 7:30 p.m., Bitcoin just decided to no more gains. We are heading straight to the downside. And at one point fell, look at that, about $3,000. But now maybe potentially trying to get a little bit of strength, trying to get a little bit of a bounce. We look at the RSI on the 5-minute. We're seeing a little bit of oversold with not much as far as bullish divergences, maybe on different time frames here. We do have bull divs on the 24-minute chart, though. So this is a good sign for a potential reversal. So what we want to see is the larger time frames also start to roll over with some bullish divs. We look at the 30-minute, still got a bull div, in fact. All right, this is looking like maybe a good area to long. And let's go up to the 1 hour. All right, so we're still waiting. And this candle is going to end in 17 minutes. No bull div here, but up to the 30-minute there. So the bulls are trying to take back control from the bears here.
Dylan said it looks like it's holding a bull pennant in the RSI reset. I don't know what time frame he's looking at. Probably maybe 4 hour, but
Yeah, maybe a little bull pennant here, a little RSI reset right there. So if I had to guess, I think he's looking at the daily. So yeah, there's still a little bit of hope for Bitcoin, but let's look at the rest of the markets. We're going to hit refresh here. Bitcoin now down only 0.6. So it was down a little bit more. Like we said, it's starting to get a little bit of a bounce. XRP peeling back a third of the gains for the week here. It was up 16%. Now it's down for the week. Now it's down 6% in the last 24 hours here. We look Solana also down about 5%. Dogecoin down over 6%. And Cardano also down about 5%. So we're seeing a lot of those major alts, the big large cap alts, peeling back some of the gains. If you look on the 7-day, you look on the 30-day, maybe just some healthy profit taken, maybe a little bit of a healthy pullback. Chainlink also down about 5%. But what is good? What is green? What is pumping? It is pump.fun. Said it don't want to be dump.funk. Pump.fun, though, is a token I'm personally staying away from. I've seen a lot of, I want to say, some pretty smart people making some pretty bearish targets of 2 pennies, TJ, before they start buying.
2/10 of a penny. Like it,
2/10 of a penny. Yeah, a fifth of a penny here.
Yeah. This is one. It's really interesting. I've had a hard time. I'm generally staying away from it as well. But it's really interesting one to watch as far as what's going to happen next. It has obviously pulled back below where it ICO'd, which isn't too surprising to me. I do think they're about to do some marketing this week, probably pump it up a little bit.
Maybe found a little floor there as well on the price.
Maybe, but look, my main thesis, and maybe this is wrong for me to say this, I don't know, but just when I look at this project, there's a lot of things that don't quite make sense as far as the way their fees are generated, the volume they were doing, the way it all stopped on a dime, all that sort of stuff.
And they had good opportunities. They had ways where, they get Solana from their exchange. Typically what they've done in the past is they grab all this Solana, they go straight to the exchange, and they sell it for stablecoin, dumping Solana on the ecosystem. They could have done something where maybe rewarding stakers with
Solana. Right. I mean, they're making a ton of money, and they're, I do think they're going to come back and do some airdrops. They're going to do some community things to generate
airdrops are going to be more selling pressure. Is that what you think?
Yes. And I think it's going to be a lot of hype and buzz. Like I said, I'm not willing to say for sure that I think it's going to zero this cycle or like down only, but I do think the most logical explanation for Pump Fund is it was being used for money laundering. And then when somebody started sniffing around trying to figure that out, it all stopped. And that's why their volume dropped off like crazy, which is then why they used the revenue and the fees that they generated up to this point to generate a huge ask in the ICO, which then they've completed, they've got the money. Now, do I see them building an actual successful competitor to Kick, which I believe is something they're trying to do? Not necessarily. I think they're going to run into a lot more challenges with being a streaming service than people realize. But I think it'll make for some really good content. It'll make for some really good entertainment along the way. So it'll be. I'm intrigued to watch it play out. But it's not necessarily something I'm investing in.
All right, we do got a $2 super chat here. I love the color matching here that we're seeing.
Nice.
It's snake season, and we did post on the X account. We did a little snake analysis yesterday. Posted it on the X. Maybe TJ might repost it there. So you can go watch that on yesterday's live stream. The morning.
And I do have to say I'm getting some comments on X, and I did tell the people I would mention to see you. Some people are starting to get some Cardano fatigue.
Cardano fatigue, and I actually addressed that yesterday's show.
Okay.
So I realized I've been talking, so we tried to actually ignore it at some point.
We have to taper DZ's bullishness. He loves Cardano so much, and which has served obviously all of you guys very well. They're crushing it, both with the Cardano native tokens too, but they wanted to hear more other stuff.
There was a spike in Cardano activity over the past 7 days, as there was a spike in the price. I did talk about it more than normal, and I talk about it probably more than I should. Now, other tokens had pump. BNB, darling of the altcoin market right now. Also, Pangu is up. Fartcoin is up. Feel good about switching Shiba into Fart is just continued to be a good call. I hope a lot of you have jumped in there with me. But BNB sneakily sneaking into fresh new all-time highs. This has never been more valuable. You look at the market cap. This is now a $110 billion market cap. The token is pumping. We're looking at an $800 BNB as of when it looks like it's pulled back a little bit, but hit 807, 8 o'clock last night. I think that is, or yesterday or this morning.
I think BNB is one I forget to mention sometimes. It's one of those I think, most obvious picks, especially until they stop burning. You know, they're doing those quarterly burns based on their profits. Extremely profitable company. Pretty much watched it just churn the whole way from $40 to
When I
$800.
diamond handed through the bear market.
Yeah. And I don't know why it kind of just fell out of, talking points recently, but for the most part, I think it's a pretty easy pick. And that's part of what I believe people should be doing right now, especially if you've got only, couple $1,000, sure, take some high risk shots. But if you're putting some serious money into this, I think there's a lot of people that are overlooking the very obvious plays like BNB, like Chainlink, like Solana, even Ethereum. A lot of people overlooked at the levels that it was at. I think those are some really easy 2 to 5Xs. Avalanche, another one of those that's doing well. And people are just not. They are trying to get too sophisticated with it. They're digging too deep down. They're going too deep down coin market cap to get these gains. When really you can pick these top 10 coins for the most part, and that was part of what the main story is we're going to look at here is this Bitwise crypto index. You're going to see a lot more of these crypto indexes, and finding the coins that are going to be included, a lot of them I do think are going to be based on market cap and time on market. So you're talking top 10 coins most likely that have been around for a while. They're going to get index funds. You're going to see money flood into them. They're going to perform well. And I think in a lot of ways, crypto investing is going into somewhat of an easy mode now that big money is coming in. Even fixed income instruments. I think, did you get the BNY Mellon?
PNC Bank, and we're going to talk about that. And we got an little analysis on PNC.
Yeah, coming in later. It's going to get really, really easy for these majors. And I just don't want people, like, if you're looking for conservative 3 to 5X, it's really not that hard. You don't have to go that far down. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. There's going to be a lot of tokens, and Chainlink is the one that I keep thinking about. I did see someone ask, when are you going to sell your Chainlink? We're not sure. One of the main things I'm looking at now, more so, number one was 4-year cycle. This was my number one indicator when I need to sell. I was a time-based investor. Now that has maybe moved down to number 2, number 3. Number 1 for me in the current moment, I'm willing to change, M2 money supply. So as long as that continues to pump, we might continue to pump because there is about a 90-day lag on that, 111-day lag.
I like that theory. That makes total sense. And then people are asking about Bitcoin dominance. And let me know. I saw somebody saying I'm not in crypto for a 2 to 3 to 5X. So I want to know, what are you hoping for? Do you need a 10X, or are you desperate for the 50X? Are you trying to get the 100X? What are your let me know kind of where your stack is today and where you want it to be at the end of this run. I'm just curious.
Yeah, there you go. And I would say you want that 50X. Wait for a fart coin dip, 5X long that, and then hope it does a 10X. Boom, there's your 50X, minus the fees. Now, minus some altcoins here. We do have Athena is down, 11.3. Toncoin is down, ARB, Dogecoin, and HBAR all pulling back. But mostly, except for Toncoin, huge pumps on the 30-day. So again, just, maybe some healthy pullbacks here. Athena was up about 100%. Over the last month, just yesterday. Now, when are you going to sell midnight? Typically, the way I do airdrops is I like to sell some immediately. So that might be my strategy as well there. So maybe sell some immediately, then just leave your little moon bag and see where that thing goes. And that's going to be an airdrop for Polkadot, BNB, I want to say XRP, Brave Attention, and Cardano users. It's going to be a big airdrop.
And speaking of DOT, I agree with DCA and Prey. So people are fading coins like DOT and Litecoin when those coins are on the Bitwise 10 list. And I agree. Those are ones that they've been around. They're known commodities. They have large market caps. They're getting included in certain indexes. Litecoin, especially, that's one you've talked about, where it's like it kind of fits a lot of criteria.
Litecoin's not actually on there. But Bitcoin Cash is, which is worse.
It was on the list that I saw.
I'm looking at the 10 right here.
Interesting.
No Litecoin. So, but yeah, Litecoin's going to do very well as novice investors come into the ecosystem and just see the silver to Bitcoin's gold narrative. Some might even say it's like Rusty 10. Maybe, I don't know. What's the cheapest metal going to be? Yeah, it's like just some Rusty 10. But speaking of that story, let's talk about that story, everybody. There is a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for 9 altcoins. And thank you, Manawak, there. 17 months as a member here. Hoping everybody has a happy hump day. Don't F it up. We're almost there, peeps. Support the channel. Join the Disco fam. Smash that like button, folks, and make sure you are following the channel. We do put out a lot of content 7 days a week. So we do appreciate a little bit of help with the YouTube overlords here. But let's talk about this Bitwise crypto index fund. There was a little bit of a roller coaster yesterday. The SEC approved this Bitwise fund for 10 different coins, but then immediately paused it as they're trying to convert this into an ETF. So what is this fund and why is this going to be good for these 9 altcoins? So the SEC approved the plan to convert this crypto index fund into an ETF, but immediately put it on hold, as we said. Now, 90% of this is in Bitcoin and Ether, but the remaining 10% are on 8 other major altcoins. I do think these 8 other major altcoins are going to just perform well, generally speaking. Wall Street has their eyes on these, SEC has their eyes on these, and Trump family and other connected people within the DeFi space are looking at a lot of these coins as well. What are those 8 coins besides Bitcoin and Ether? So we got Solana, XRP, Cardano, Avalanche, Chainlink, Bitcoin Cash, Uniswap, and Polkadot. So these are the 10 coins. Now, TJ, let's choose our champion and our loser coin out of this list. Which one do you think is going to be the best pumper and what's going to be not the best pumper here?
Best pumper on that list, probably Solana or Avalanche, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could actually see it being Avalanche. Avalanche is definitely poised to pop against Ethereum, and Ethereum might do very, very well. My loser... I can see Uniswap struggling as more and more centralized exchanges offer the services that Uniswap, the decentralized exchange, serves. Also, a lot of people are unhappy with their foundation and what they're doing with their large, basically their allotment of Uni tokens. Maybe, honestly, any of the bottom 3. I think they're all going to pump. All of these tokens are going to go up. I just think maybe the bottom 3 might not do as well as the top 5.
The bottom 3. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
if I had to choose, but again, I think they all pump.
I'm still confused because the other I'm seeing a different list that has.
Maybe it is Litecoin, maybe Bitcoin Cash. We could just
maybe they haven't.
Maybe the article is
maybe what I'm looking at is wrong because when I had Sui on there too, and I don't see Sui on this list either. So I don't know. It didn't have Uniswap. So
this is the Bitwise fund. Let's go straight to the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Oh my God. I'm an institutional. Yeah. I agree. Shush. Let's move on here. We're looking returns, fund holdings. Here we go.
Litecoin,
Litecoin, no Bitcoin Cash, and Sui. So maybe this is an addendum, but yeah, you were 100% right. We went straight to the source here.
Yeah. So Sui and Litecoin replaced Uniswap and Bitcoin Cash compared to your
which
list.
are 2 of the stinkers there.
Yeah. So there you go. So that right there, to me, that basket is one where if you've got 6 figures, 7 figures, and you're looking to allocate, you're already happy with your Bitcoin allocation and you kind of spread across those, I think you have an extremely well-performing portfolio.
Yeah, and kind of looking at this right here, I think Sui is going to probably be one of the strongest gainers here. I think it's just going to be very, very well poised, and I think people are going to like the technology behind Sui. And there's some pretty well connected people from the former Meta Libra team there. Let's see here, reading some of this. Dang, all good news for XRP, but that thing keeps going down. That is a sign of a cooling off market there. What are the fees for this? Now, the fees I have read doing a little research is a little bit higher than normal, but I mean, I don't think people matter too much when we're trying to get 10Xs.
Yeah.
They don't worry about a 0.75% fee on something
higher
like that.
Than normal for traditional finance, but crypto in general, it's probably on par for crypto fund management fees. Like Coinbase, extremely expensive. There's very few crypto funds that don't have high fees that I know of.
People say is better than Sui. I would largely disagree with this. In fact, I actually had the Sui chart pulled up right after this. This is the area we've been mapping out for a while, and it looks like Sui is coming down to retest the bottom part of this range. Let's go to, like, say, the 1 hour. I swear to God, move it, folks. Now, this one, definitely we closed at least 1, 2. We closed 2 candles below the line, maybe 1.5. Right now, the bulls are trying to hold this as support. And looking at this, DJ, I almost want to long some Sui from this level here.
Yeah, that's a nice looking level.
Oh, that was a good entry right there. People are wondering, are we in some trades? No, we're not 50xing on Fart, but I do have a small position in Aave with some lower entries. I think I have an entry at 288 and 286. So I will add to this position, lower my average entry, and then after that, we would cut and run after about a 10-20% loss. So that's what I'm looking at as far as trades. Was in the green, I don't know, 15 minutes ago, but now it's just kind of bouncing around in this range here. All right, let's move forward here. Those are the Bitwise tokens. But then here's someone else, SEC okayed it, then hit pause. Why? Here is why it maybe was paused. It includes altcoins that lack standalone ETF approval. Same playbook that they did to Grayscale. So this feels more political than procedural. And so now people are wondering, does that mean we're going to see ETF approval for these other 8 tokens? I'm leaning towards, I think eventually every single one of these gets approved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I don't see there's not a whole lot of reason to hold back certain coins. I think they've got their criteria once the coins meet them. A lot of them is a certain amount of time on the market and mature. That's how they measure maturity somewhat, is just time and transparency. So I do think some of these older coins have a better chance, like speaking of the XRPs, the Cardanos, the Litecoins, compared to some people up here just asking, like, what about Hype? What about what was some of the somebody asked about a different one. Hyperliquid, Aave. Aave's been around a little bit longer than Hype has, but none of those were around back in 2017, 2018. So I do think that factors into it. And the more time passes, I agree. We're going to see ETFs for all sorts of different mixes. And guys, somebody did ask like what the purpose is. Really, all an ETF is, and is an exchange traded fund. It's just a vehicle for more money to get in faster, more or less. It's just a different way to manage the funds. It's not necessarily anything.
If you were an asset, like say a cereal box, getting turned into an ETF is like now you're in every Walmart.
Yeah,
it is much easier for people to put money into your product.
Yeah, that's a good analogy there. So that being said, I think there will be ETFs for almost anything you can imagine. That doesn't mean they're all going to perform well. Like we've seen the Bitcoin ETF performed extremely well, one of the best performing ETFs ever of all time, period.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum is now also doing extremely well.
And we got the data on that a little bit later in the show. It is insanely bullish.
Well, that's what's crazy is like when I'm talking to people who are asking like, oh, what altcoin would I buy on this pullback today? Realistically, the altcoin that I'm watching right now that I think is going to be the star of the season for the next couple months is Ethereum. I mean, the numbers that Ethereum's doing, the institutional flows that Ethereum's doing, the Genius Act that just got passed. This is why I've been bullish on it this whole time. I think ETH has been one of the top performing altcoins the last 30 days. I think it continues to be for the next 30 to 60 days. And then some of these lower cap base ecosystem plays, which again have still been performing well.
We got some good data on that. Here's the 30-day performance. ETH 59.6%. But XRP narrowly edging by 63.9, but way better than BNB, even though it's a new all-time high. Way better than Solana. Dogecoin a little bit better, and Cardano better than Cardano at 50%. Tron only 16%.
There you go.
Yeah, huge gain for number 2 market cap there. 90% for Stellar XLM. Kind of beating everybody there. All right, now that was so we're looking at this, but this is also something I wanted to share here. This list that we're just looking at. This is part of the new cycle theory. I don't want to say new cycle theory, the old cycle theory. Capital doesn't move randomly. This is from Virtual Bacon. It flows from Bitcoin to Ethereum, from Ethereum to the high cap altcoins. Then it goes into the memes and the micros. But the high cap altcoins, I get this question all the time. What are the high cap altcoins? Where do you think it's going to be heading? I think this is just a good list for your high cap altcoins there. I think a lot of people are just going to kind of look at these lists and say, all right, well, I'm way up on ETH. Maybe I don't want to buy Bitcoin because it's too high. What are the altcoins that people are going to be buying in the future? So look at that list for maybe a little determination. Now I'm seeing some bullishness on Polkadot here. The trading volume's nuts. The trading volume's nuts. I actually did a little research here. It's not as high as you would like. Polkadot's right here. 500 million trading volume, but it's less than Uniswap, 600 million, much less than Pepe. That's to be expected, but even less than Aave. Here, Aave at 827. So Polkadot, this one I'm not so sure. I don't think we get a new all-time high. I know. I hate saying it.
Yeah, let me see the market cap. Yeah, that would be interesting.
This was based off speculation of what the Parachain ecosystem, Kusama ecosystem was going to be. Now that it's out, we're like, oh, no one uses it.
I agree. I don't think it probably doesn't make a new all-time high either. I don't think. Like the volume,
I like Gavin.
The volume isn't too inconsistent when I'm looking. Toncoin's not that much different. Shib's not that much different. I mean, but Litecoin still has way more. And if for large cap, I'd say anything in the top 20. You can maybe stretch that to top 30 these days, but I do think of those, Tron is going to be one of your weaker players. I mean, Dot is going to be one of your weaker players just based on narrative. And so this is one thing I think it's important for you guys to keep in mind. Like DZ mentioned, they had their rise on the interoperability on the Parach Chains. That's part of that narrative was really hot then, which is part of why they had that big rise.
Interoperability is just going to, oh my God, this Parach chain, this particular one or that one, or it's just going to connect everything.
And that's Cosmos Atom that had another big rise based on that one, that same concept. And then when it didn't really quite materialize,
talk to each other.
Yeah,
I'm a blockchain. I'm a blockchain. I'm talking to you. You're talking to me. We're all talking together.
Right. And when you don't have that narrative, you can fade, but when you do, I guess what I'm saying is it can change fast. If a new narrative comes out for Dot and it's back into that cycle because they're doing something new with this new technology and it's going to incorporate AI in some way or something that's within the ethos of where the trend is right now, then it could come back into the meta. But I would definitely say it's out of the meta. And
during the depths of the bear, I was like in those Parachains. I was exploring it. I was in the Akala ecosystem and a couple others and Beam, and I like the user experience, just users didn't pour into it.
Right. And I think that's something important. If you guys have played video games for a while, you understand meta of like certain characters come in and out of the meta, or like I played League of Legends for a long time, certain champions like, oh, that
you're in SBF's league, right?
No, I was better than that. I wasn't that
shared
bad.
a Discord and
he was like bronze 3 or something ridiculous. But
what is your rank? I know we have some league players. They're wondering what did TJ hit?
I haven't played in a long time. It was, I think my peak was low gold, like gold 4, gold 3. I might have hit gold 3, but
chat, if you played, I want to know what you were. Let me know what you were.
I will say that's changed over time too. Like as the game, like basically I was probably about the same skill level, but slowly, like I was gold 3. Then I was gold 4, then gold 5, then silver 1. You know, it's as more and more people came in, it got harder to stay at the same level. But all that to say, you need to be thinking about coins like meta. So, hey, Ethereum was out of the meta for a while. You don't want to be all in on it. That doesn't mean it can't come back. But hey, now it's in the meta right now. You probably want to be piled into Ethereum. It's gonna soon. It will fade into RWAs and AI coins, and that will be the hot meta. And you want to be ready and willing to use those coins when they're in the meta. But as soon as they fall out, you need to be willing to shift. And that's one thing. Thoughts on Chill House not in the meta? That's a perfect example. When I've seen you ask that like 4 times right now. When you see when Chill House was going nuts, that's when meme coins were all the meta. It was all the pump fund hype. Everybody was on Phantom and you were catching runners all the time. Right now, Chill House is, and that whole narrative is out of the meta. Now, when it comes back, that coin will move, but it's not going to do anything close to what it was doing in the past. You're going to want to look for the new runner. So that's kind of my take on that.
People asking about the ink. It's a layer 2, if I'm not mistaken here.
Ink black hole token from Elliot. We'll get to by the end of
it's different than this one, right?
It's probably it's probably like a gas token or related to black hole. I don't know a ton about it yet. Ink I thought was the layer 2 on Kraken. But
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's where I was getting that from.
So I'm not sure which coin you're talking about. I know unless it could be like a gas token that works within that ecosystem. But we'll look into it and let you know.
Elio, when there's a bull market, him and Z Becker, they'll get some views and they'll pump some tokens.
Oh yeah. Well, and Black Hole is one that they're both behind. It's performing extremely well. The TVL has skyrocketed. The price has gone up. So hasn't been out long. It's one of our picks that we've been in since it launched. And like I said, I think this will be the arrow of Avalanche. Pretty straightforward play to me. Avalanche needed something like this, and having those 2 behind it, I expect it to continue.
Nice. You jumped in early?
Super early, like the day it launched.
Heck yeah, like it.
So I know
you got to be in that Discord, folks.
Yeah, a lot of people in our Discord did well from that. So I will I'll put that chat or that link down.
They want to know TJ's opinion on Caspa.
It's fine for proof of work. If you like proof of work coins and tokens, I think it's done something interesting and useful, no pun intended.
It probably will absorb a lot of those electricity costs, which is good for the token price.
It's a long-term play. It's I don't know, it's tough. Probably not. Let me look at the chart real quick. Probably not a huge moneymaker. It's probably more of a bear market.
I want to say, yeah, those it was great like 2023.
Yeah, it did good in the bear market. It's not bad actually. It's looking pretty good. So 10 cents right now.
Okay, there's a pullback.
Yeah. So I don't. It's actually if once it gets above 10, 12 cents, like you could go retest all time
we
highs.
had Nick Damani mining it all in this range here. Like it was basically, he had a really good thesis on this.
We mined a ton of it too at one point, and paid good when we mined it. So it's, I don't know if you're mining it, great. I don't generally spot speculate on coins like this. But I don't have anything negative to say about it really. Just
there you go. All right, now let's talk a little ETH here, folks. Now there's a whale. There's a secret whale. This guy has bought almost $500 million. He's bought 397 million worth of Ethereum just in the last 4 days. So keep an eye out on this wallet. I think someone's going to try to determine who this is. Maybe it's one of the treasury funds. You know, maybe it's just kind of getting some wallets, getting some ETH together. But very interesting whale to keep an eye out on. 400 million is no laughing matter. Also, the reason I bring up the 400 million, because when you look at some of these sell walls, oh, they don't look so scary anymore. There's a giant sell wall, 263 million between 3850 and 4,000. 263 million. I mean, hell, that guy bought 397 million. Also, you look at the new ETH issuance today, the sell wall, 200 some odd million. So scary. ETH ETFs, they bought 500 million. So don't worry about these these sell walls. And the ETFs brought in 58x more ETH than it was issued by the network in one day. So a lot of people are saying just supply and demand. Something's got to catch up here, folks.
Yeah, I've got, speaking of ETH, I was looking at this, and I know you mentioned Virtual Bacon earlier. Good channel. You guys should definitely check it out. Guy. We should probably have him on soon if he sees this. Welcome to have you on. But treasuries just exploded. This is huge. It went from 23 million to 6.6 billion, 280x in 3 months, just with Bitmine, SharpLink, you know, acquiring all this stuff, and you're seeing the treasuries accumulating Ethereum going absolutely crazy. They were paying, I think it was like 5% on Aave yesterday or the day before just for holding Ethereum, because that's how much institutions want it. There's a huge demand for ETH right now.
Justin Sun do a mass withdrawal yesterday.
I didn't. From what? From Aave or from?
It goes Aave. He did like 250 million.
Yeah, probably because one of these treasury companies are trying to buy it, and he's got tons of it. And so what's funny is what these guys can do is they own part of the treasury company, then they sell the ETH to the treasury company that they own, and then they raise money based on that to get more, and they still own it. It's pretty interesting what they're doing. But yeah, Virtual Bacon also likes Plume. He likes a lot of the same stuff. Part of the reason I like his stuff is we're into the same type of stuff. A lot of DeFi.
Yeah, he looks at like what does he look? DeFi llama statistics.
A lot of DeFi stuff.
Probably smart. You know, looking at revenue and app protocol usage and stuff like that. I lied. Justin Sun, he didn't do 250 million. $600 million worth of ETH from Aave. Looks like there was a little bit of a depeg there, but nothing really crazy. And honestly, moving $1 billion worth, and then there's only a slight depeg of 0.3%, and that was going to be the Lido staked ETH versus the regular ETH there. Major, I would just say that's strong. That's healthy right there. So yeah, good peg. That didn't sound right. Let's just move on here. ETH ETFs, they're bringing up the ETH ETFs. Attracted 533 million yesterday. This is now a 13-day inflow streak and is now over $10 billion in total assets. And the canary in the coal mine I always talk about, BlackRock pulled in 426 million of the daily net inflow. And here's just a nice graphic showing all the dates. It won't let me move it. I can't move it. So we're going to get out of this screen here. Go back up. Whoa, they teleported us. Multiple massive days. We did do some record. Yes, the 16th, $726 million. That is the record, followed by 600 million. And yesterday, 533 million. So Wall Street has a large appetite for these ETH ETFs. Keep an eye out on it. But Wall Street, I know in the chat, Disco fam, a lot of people are saying, no, they don't want ETH. They want XRP, TJ. A lot of people are thinking they want XRP. Have you seen the recent metric XRP pass? They are now larger than Pepsi, Uber, and BlackRock, closing in on McDonald's. Just needs 5% more to pass McDonald's here. And I actually pulled up the assets here. Hold on, let's get right here. It's 90. There you go, 89. Guess what's next? Knocking on the door of AT&T, company founded originally Alexander Graham Bell. Bell Labs, and then Bell had to split because it was a monopoly over the nation, and one of the splits ended up being AT&T there.
Well, it's Bell South first.
Bell South, one of the entities. So it created into multiple things. Caterpillar's there, PepsiCo. Looks like PepsiCo gained today. Oh man, XRP fell 5%. So Pepsi said, no. I'm trying to think of like old school Pepsi ad campaigns.
Michael
the only
Jackson.
ones I'm thinking of like the BLM ones.
Oh, well, you got Michael Jackson back in the day. The whole hairstyle catching on fire. That was the most famous one.
I heard some Michael Jackson lore literally yesterday. Did you know Michael Jackson got in a fist fight with Tupac Shakur?
No.
Is a story that has been told by two bodyguards on different podcasts there. Huh. And chat, who do you think won, Tupac or MJ?
I mean,
and they were fighting over not Clive Davis.
Better hope it's Tupac.
It was someone's niece, and it was an old record executive. If you heard it, you're like, oh, Motown guy, James something or other. But they fought over a niece of someone of a Motown producer. And chat saying MJ. Who'd you have again?
I was saying you would hope it would be Tupac, but I don't. I mean, if MJ came with that crazy energy.
Someone say Michael threw his hat, and then Tupac threw his. No, they say Michael Jackson literally won.
Yeah,
Michael Jackson literally won, and then they brought up the bodyguard brought up like, he was raised. Michael Jackson was raised by a boxer in Gary, Indiana, very very poor town, and he had I think 5 older brothers, and so he was pummeled all the time, and the dude had hands. So fun story there. XRP though, let's get back into crypto. Let's get back into the prices here. XRP has lost some support. This is on the 1 hour candle. I noticed the support. I noticed earlier this morning, it looks like we're going to break through. Sure enough, you fast forward to 11:14 a.m. We have fallen through here over the past few hours. But what are the next levels? What are we looking at for XRP? I would say the next thing is going to be this liquidity area right around 304. We actually have some liquidity levels detailed out. So we cleared a very large liquidation level, wiped out a lot of longs. This is on Gate, which has the most perpetuals, more than Binance, more than BitGet. Going back to Gate here, there is another scary level, scary liquidation zone. This is going to be slightly refreshed, 319. So it looks like it might want to go that low. Did we hit it yet? We didn't hit it. We only wicked down to 322. So might be one more scary wick. I'm predicting one more scary wick. I almost want to short everything right now and turn off those Aave longs. But it's hard to be bearish on Aave when I see Stani, the founder here, after the Horizon launches Aave product. Aave will have 3 business lines: lending and borrowing, 50 billion in deposits, GHO generating premium revenue for the DAO, and Horizon is going to enable TradFi assets as collateral. I like this thesis. Aave will be the backbone of all finance, and seeing Justin Sun's $500 million withdrawal be absorbed healthily, I tend to agree with that more so than Arrow or Ondo even.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for sure. Aave is definitely in a league of its own when it comes to being kind of the future of what finance is. We had Stani on not that long ago, and he was talking about
channel, cool guy.
Yeah, he was talking about these exact things. I mean, the GHO is their stable coin. I think that's going to continue to produce revenue for them. That business is proven, tried and true.
Look at that metric: 22 billion in active loans on Aave. That's more than every competitor combined.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I'm saying. They have such a huge, it's one of my bigger holdings, Aave, for this, not just this cycle. That's probably, if I'm considering one that I could hold a long time, it's Aave. That's one of those like long-term investment type plays for me. Now, I'm not saying I won't ever sell it. I'm just saying it's almost like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Aave to me, Chainlink are kind of those forever hold. Aave, it's one of my, this guy says it, my biggest bag and most conviction for long term. And outside of Bitcoin, I would say Aave is one of my longest term conviction plays. So
Quincy Jones, thank you very much. It was Quincy Jones's niece. Someone else was familiar with the story. We got a $1.50 super chat from Ryan Boylan. And Boylan, also Neverland's nickname from Michael Jackson. Did you know that?
No.
Called it Boyland.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I made that one up, but it sounded real. A lot of Tupac hate left and right here, saying he was a phony. And Biggie, I always have said, not always, but since probably being 16, 17 years old, Biggie is better than Tupac. when you're 14 or your little edge lord 15, yeah, Tupac's better, but Biggie clearly better than Tupac in the long run. All right, now let's talk about Arthur Haze thesis for $250,000 Bitcoin, not next year, not next cycle, this year, and a 10,000 ETH by the end of the year. We're looking at August, September, October, November, December. We're looking at 5 months and 8 days. Okay, we're looking at a very, very short amount of time, about 250 days. No, not even. Sorry, $10,000 ETH by the end of the year. What is his thesis for this? Well, we're going to need credit growth and more creation of fiat, aka government must print more money. Why must the governments print more money? Well, they need more money for war, which they'll need credit for. What does this kind of mean, TJ? Can you kind of break this down for people who may not understand the treasury or the debt system? So they need money for war, which they'll need credit for.
Right. Meaning they need to borrow. They're going to need to borrow more money to go to do this war stuff to keep this whole machine going. In order to borrow more, you need credit or demand on the dollar, which is realistically what we've been saying stable coins provide. So now
they got to sell this debt. So yeah, they need creditors, kind of.
You need buyers, basically. So we need buyers of the US dollar, so that way we can turn around and borrow against those buyers. And so what the stable coin, part of why we've been so bullish in the prediction we've seen, what allows them to print the type of money that they are with lower inflation. Like we're still going to experience a lot of inflation, but if they can keep the demand up on the dollar, you don't feel it as bad. So stable coins now, we can instantly ship dollars to anybody in the world. You've heard me talk about for years on this channel, our number one export here in the United States, our number one contribution to trade is the US dollar and our consumption. So we want to sell our dollars to the rest of the world, and we want to buy stuff with it. And that's what our contribution is. So with stable coins now and digital dollars and things that you can use on an application as software versus an actual physical bank, now, previously in the past, if we wanted to create a new demand on the dollar, get the dollar into a new ecosystem, we had to kind of go in and install a shadow government or a new financial system and kind of put in our government and say, okay, you're all on the dollar now. Well, now it's digital. You can have dollars anywhere in the world just by downloading this application. And so people can swap out of their local currency into a US dollar backed stablecoin, which means Aave's buying US treasuries, Circle's buying US treasuries, Tether's buying US treasuries. Anybody who's offering stable coins is buying US treasuries, which then allows the US government to turn around and borrow.
All right, we got a $2 super chat here. When on big red days, I just flip the graph upside down. See, I kind of do the same thing. I'll stand on my head, but when it's really red, I'll just drop myself on my head, and then hopefully I wake up from a coma and it's a green day. That's what I'm looking for there. And I was chuckling earlier, TJ, Jeremiah, is that a barcode on the back of DZ's necks? That's a good Hitman reference there.
Mm-hmm. You and Brian Armstrong both. Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant is the vibe I'm going for, more so than Brian Armstrong here. But I do love this crypto haze thesis here. You know, essentially the U.S. needs more money for war, which they'll have to sell U.S. treasuries for, which will create favorable crypto regulations and stablecoins, which will help, which will be bolstered indirectly. Now, it's a little almost conspiratorial saying, well, the treasury needs buyers of this U.S. debt, pass favorable legislation for stable coins, which is some of the largest net buyers of U.S. debt. Really doesn't sound that far-fetched. And especially when you look at what they did this week. This is from Reuters. Senate panel approves another $500 million aid for Ukraine in the defense bill. They did that on the 11th, so about 12 days ago. So yeah, we're just steadily spending more and more on just actions overseas. I don't want to say any words that's going to piss off the algo here. So smash that like button, though. Help us out with the algo here. Now, Ben Cowan with the hot take. I tend to agree with, I don't like all the Powell FUD, all the Powell hate. The man's going to be out in May 2026. But here's a good, just other assessment here. Imagine being Jerome Powell right now. You brought inflation down from 9% to 2% while keeping unemployment rate at 4%. Stocks, Bitcoin, gold, all at all-time highs, and people are demanding he resigns. What are your thoughts with Ben Cowan coming to Powell's defense here? I tend to agree with this.
Yeah,
actually.
I agree too. I don't think Powell has done a bad job. I think what's funny is a lot of people were very appreciative and happy for what he was doing recently. They just want the gains right now. It's like we want short-term fun for long-term pain, basically, which is nobody wants to be the responsible adult in the room and have everybody take their medicine, but realistically, it just kind of depends on what you think. Like, do you care about the United States? Like, in the long term, do you care about our country? Then he's doing a great thing, and we really shouldn't drop interest rates anytime soon.
And also, I've noticed a consistent thread. It's the smartest people are the ones saying, guys, lay off him a little bit here.
Yeah, he didn't do a bad job. I mean, but it's one of those, he's captaining a ship of something that's bad systemically. So the Fed is always going to be the bane of the United States existence as long as it operates the way it does. It just is what it is. Now, we shouldn't be printing an insane amount of money. That's not good for most people. So that's what I feel like. Most people criticizing Jerome Powell really have no understanding of economics. I'll say that much. They really don't have any. They're just parroting a line. They're saying we want him out because we want interest rates down because we think that'll pump our bags, but it's really not what's best for everybody.
Wait, it's almost like you're having an independent thought and you're not part of a MAGA cult, which is, I think a lot of people have suggested about maybe one or two people on this channel.
I disagree with this sufficient enough. He's driving a ship with holes in it and they gave him duct tape to fix it. He's really not. The Fed doesn't have any holes in it. The Fed's doing okay. They've got tons of assets. They have a great
the Congress is saying we need, you only want to give us $10, but we need 12.
Yeah, it's the United States that's not doing good. They're the ones trying to the reason we're demanding they lower interest rates is because if they don't, we can't make our payments. That's the bottom line. Trump's demanding. It's like you're in a fight with your mortgage. You're on an adjustable rate mortgage. It goes up. Your payments double. Even your income doesn't. And now it's coming up, at the end of this year, you're going to have to start paying double your interest payments or double your mortgage payments. And you're demanding that they lower the rate, or you're saying, because if they don't, we're not going to be able to pay. But we really do deserve, we actually have really good credit. We can pay all of our bills, but you have to lower it. It's just a big.
Now, I'm not saying he's free of criticism. I do agree with Ken that the cutting the rates right in October 2024, right before the election, to me seemed politically motivated. So he's by no means is he infallible, but at the same time, I don't think we upend years of, let's just say, consistency by firing him.
It's all a bunch of fugazi. To be honest.
Right. Well, speaking of fugazi, how about the investigation into Kurt Cobain? That's not Kurt Cobain. It's Kobe. It's not Kobe. No, we're talking about Kraken CEO Jesse Powell. Just got cleared after a 2-year FBI investigation, but it's not for what you think. After 2 years, they closed their investigation into him, the co-founder of Kraken. The case had nothing to do with his role in the crypto world or his company. Now, me and TJ might suggest that, well, maybe he was targeted because of some political views and maybe, giving some freedom to people that they might not have wanted. But, they're saying it's not related. But anyways, it stemmed from a separate dispute with a nonprofit art group he co-founded all the way back in 2008. It was called the Verge Center for the Arts. Now, this investigation began 2 years ago following accusations that Powell accessed their digital platforms without permission and was involved in cyber stalking. The FBI even searched his residence. They seized his phones, stole his laptops for forensic review. So basically, Jesse Powell was much smarter than anyone else on the tech team, and he just got probably carte blanche access to the website. Now, it looks like he unlawfully accessed their email and Slack accounts. But if it's your nonprofit that you co-founded, why can't you look at it?
Yeah, that whole thing to me sounds like a fishing expedition. They found something that they could go, like they found a reason to take all of his electronics and then looked at whatever they wanted to look at and then gave it back.
Yeah, it was a Stalin that said, "Show me the man and I'll find you the crime."
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like something he would say.
Chat, let me know. Show me the man, I'll find crime. Let's see. You're typing around I'm looking for Beria's infamous boast. Oh no, it was the chief of the secret police under Stalin. Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry. I did not know my Eastern history well enough there. All right, now speaking of from east to the west here, Bank of England rethinking CBDC plans. No, I'm not talking about the stuff you buy at the gas station. No, they're talking about their central bank digital currency strategy, and they're casting doubt on the necessity of a digital pound. I don't want to go too deep into the weeds here, but the Bank of England governor suggested that improvements in commercial payment systems may eliminate the need for a CBDC. We no longer need one. Now, according to Bloomberg, who looked into this, now, again, anonymous sources, we're not the biggest fan of that. They're facing skepticism about whether a CBDC will actually provide any benefits to the financial system or the institution itself. And the officials are said to be encouraging, this is the main takeaway. Now the Bank of England is encouraging commercial banks to focus on improving existing payment systems. This, to me, says Bank of England is telling the English banks, follow the American blueprint, start trying to create your own stablecoins, similar to JP Morgan.
Yeah, I agree. They can't fight it, and they're not going to be able to force people into it through submission.
So let's get rich off it with our insider friends.
You better compete. You better show up and start competing. We're not going to be able to protect you with regulation anymore. Is basically what it comes down to.
Now, this post is going viral. We were talking about it before. This is #1 on cryptocurrency subreddit. I've seen a lot of people post this today. This is basically a cop body cam footage revealed someone's Bitcoin seed phrase, and it was submitted as evidence. And I think it was on a public record here. This is actually an older video from 22, but just I would not put my seed phrase in my wallet. Just general advice. And if you do want to store your crypto, TJ, I heard we got a solution.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we absolutely do. One of the best in the business. Our partner, Arculus. You get a code DC20 to get 20% off. Check it out.
I just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.
I just looked into that Joseph Stalin. I don't think he was a good guy.
No.
It's an old Norm Macdonald joke. All right, now let's talk about Bitcoin here a little bit, everybody. Bitcoin has zero utility. Bitcoin sucks. It can't do anything besides storing your money, protecting it from seizure and debasement, growing it over time, and allowing it to send whoever you like without permission from banks, and making your life dramatically better over time. And this should be whomever. Boy, that just really grinds my gears. Okay, almost zero utility. And there's always the DZ metric, the diamond in the keister analogy. If you had to flee, say, you're Afghani and you wanted to flee, I don't even, the T group. I don't want to say their name. I don't want to get banned or anything here. But say you're fleeing that. You can't cross those multiple border checkpoints where there's young dudes with AKs on the back of a white Toyota as they're like looking at you and they're telling you to get out the vehicle. You can't just have a bunch of gold bars in a suitcase. You can't have pockets filled with cash. And you definitely don't want to stick a diamond in your keister. Remembering 12 seed phrase words, that's probably, to me, one of the ultimate use cases for Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Yeah, being able to exit. I mean, that's really the ultimate utility for Bitcoin, is the power to exit, which I believe is one of your greatest human rights. It's kind of like your power to speak up, your voice, and then your power to remove yourself from a system you don't believe in. And for a long time with the financial system, you were forced to participate in whatever the local government said was your financial system. Now, for the first time in history, if you don't like that system, you have a path out, and an easy path out, to DZ's point. And that right there, even though it's very simple, is what's most powerful about Bitcoin, is the fact that you can't, the permissionless factor of Bitcoin is one of its most powerful things, the portability and permissionless. It's huge. It's why we are here. It's why everything is being built on it, because you can't sanction it. You can't cut somebody out just because you don't like their point of view.
All right, we have someone suggesting the new crypto zombie video, hilarious. All right, we can check that out. Big shout out to Zombie there. And someone saying, I don't stop for checkpoints. Are you that guy that says, I don't answer questions, I don't roll down my window? I kind of like those guys. I kind of like those videos. I don't know if you ever get stuck down that rabbit hole where you see,
I've seen them. Yeah.
They're interesting. I'm a lawyer.
I don't think that works as well in different nations. Like if you're trying to flee,
try it in China.
Don't try it with the guys with the AKs and the Toyotas. I wouldn't, but You know, maybe in the UK, yeah, you can get a little mouthy with your police officer over there. Just don't post any mean memes. They'll come
Might
sneak
depend on
in.
how tan you are. I shouldn't say that. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin top indicators. This is something we talked about last week, but I wanted to give you extra tools, teach you guys how to fish. That's what we like to do on Discover Crypto. We like to lift the entire Disco fan. We want you to retire with massive amounts of Bitcoin, but 30 Bitcoin price top indicators are still saying hold 100%. And this is looking at bull peak signals, and there's 30 potential selling triggers, and all of this is on CoinGlass. So let's go to CoinGlass's indicators right here. Now we're going to focus on one, and it's probably Disco fans one of their favorite ones, the Pi Cycle Top Indicator. But you're probably wondering, how do I find this? Go to coinglass.com, bull market peak signals. This isn't sponsored or anything. It's just, honestly, it's a pretty good site. Or you could go to my account, and I did a reply on July 15th. I just said, this is great. It's a way you could easily find this, this link right there. So this will take you. And like I said, we're going to dive into one. We're diving into the Pi Cycle Top here. So go in here, Pi Cycle Top, and we're going to shrink this. Maybe just look at the last 2 cycles. The Pi Cycle Top indicator uses 2 lines, the 111-day moving average, and a newly created, it's a CoinGlass original, 350-day moving average times 2. So you get these 2 lines, kind of tells you when the top is. And so zooming in a little bit, you can see when that 111 crosses above, or I'm sorry, I'm saying that backwards there. But when you see the line, the red line go hitting the green line, that essentially gives you a market top. Looking at where we're at right now, TJ, it looks like nowhere close.
No, not even. Yeah, we got plenty of time. We're nowhere close.
Plenty of time. So maybe we'll dive into some other ones. Maybe once a week or so. We can just do maybe do a little dive into MVRV, market value, realized value. So let us know if you like those. People love the Pi Cycle Top, don't they?
Yeah. Well, Pi Cycle Top traditionally has been one of the more accurate. I like the new poll. That's another one I like to look at.
Net
It's not
unrealized profit and losses.
And that's that kind of. It's a little bit more. I'd say Pi Cycle is maybe more specific. The new poll's more just like, hey, that when a lot of this is kind of good for marking euphoria in the market of when a lot of people are in max profit. That's a really good one. That's one I like to look at. But that one's a little different. But
this one looks.
I like the shaded ones. That's just the one I'm used to looking at. But yeah, Pi Cycle is good. There's a lot of them that are good, and realistically, just the time, the days from the halving. I don't know if they've got that on there. Just 4-year cycle kind of time, but there's lots of different ones. But what's good to see there is I don't think any of them are showing near tops.
No.
So that's really what I like to do is use them as confluence. If we should around September, October. We should see several of them start to flash signs that we are getting near a top, because that would be traditionally, according to the 4-year cycle, when we're in the top. Yeah, that's kind of that's that rainbow chart where we're in that red orange areas.
We're only in green.
Yeah, so we got plenty of room to go. Now we don't typically stay in orange very long. I mean, that's probably a 30-day window, but we have plenty of room to run to the upside. That's be my encouragement for today, guys. If you're feeling a little down, yes, we had some pullbacks. There's some volatility in the market, but hey,
Bitcoin's going to $1 million. Everybody, you got to realize where this train is heading, and this is just a little bit of a fun story. But I'm interested. What do you think, chat? And I'll throw out my own suggestion. I don't think we do the 29 cycle. I think it's the 34. But if you had to guess an exact date of when Bitcoin first hits 1 million, where would it be? You got to give one date. Chat GPT. 2029. Now we go a little bit higher. Grok 4, 2030. Going past that, Claude and Grok 3, 2032. And then Gemini coming in as Google, 2033. But they're all saying, we're going to $1 million.
Yeah.
And I don't know anyone who understands Bitcoin who doesn't think it's happening eventually.
I do think they did phrase the question of like, hey, or at least the one I saw, based on all the information you have right now, when will Bitcoin hit 1 million? Give me a date. And so I actually believe it or not, the October 2029 number. I think part of that is based on what I think they're going to do to the dollar between now and 2029. Like if it keeps on the pace that it's the trend that it's been on, it should track around that time.
We have the average, Grok in the average here.
Yeah.
Average is going to be 2031, but I don't hate the 20. I'm not thinking it's impossible. That'd be very bullish.
Yeah, it's extremely bullish. And that I'm definitely on the optimistic bullish side. But I really do think, like if we see 200 something this cycle, and again, I keep coming back to the fact that they're printing the big beautiful bill, $5 trillion. They're talking about 3 more spending bills, probably at least $1 trillion each. That to me is what's getting my attention for where assets are going, and where the dollar's going is just the insane amount that we're going to print. So if the M2 keeps running away the way it has been, then I think 2029. It seems like it's close now when I say it in 2025, but in mid 2027, you're going to feel like it's far away.
Yeah. Now, Bitcoin's going to be a benefit of this environment. So is gold. We have
Absolutely.
new Peter Schiff post here. I may not own any Bitcoin, but I have a lot more money in gold and silver mining stocks than many of the Bitcoin whales have in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, only up 27% so far this year. My gold index, it's up 61%. Have fun staying poor, Bitcoiners. And then there's a pretty base response from Ben Cowan. Imagine thinking you're flexing. While gold is down so much against Bitcoin, TradingView just rounds it to negative 100%.
Wow.
Ouch. Yeah, and that's going to double digit on the decimal there. So it stings the nostrils right there. Now the gold gold Bitcoin chart. Gold, Bitcoin is at a breakout point for gold. So there might be a big shift. It might look even worse here, folks. But we were talking about the banks earlier. It's a big bank coming into the crypto space, and it is the PNC Bank. U.S. Bank is now partnering with Coinbase to launch a crypto service. PNC Bank is one of the largest financial institutions in the U.S., and they're now going to begin offering cryptocurrency services. It's going to allow their select clients, particularly those in wealth and asset management, to buy, sell, and hold digital assets like Bitcoin directly through their PNC accounts. I had to look into it. Compared to the other U.S. banks, how large is the PNC Bank? Top 10. It's number 7, number 8, depending on the source and the specific time frame. So we're talking about one of the largest banks in America now enabling their customers just hold Bitcoin on the account. So
yeah,
very, very bullish here.
It is bullish. I mean, and like I've been saying this for a while, that we're going to be seeing big banks coming to Bitcoin. We already know Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase are making moves in that direction. Very soon, you're going to start seeing incentivized high percentages on stablecoin yields, because they're trying to attract capital into their funds. And, big money is really coming into play this DeFi game. And if you're not learning about DeFi, you should be. Get in our Discord. We teach you guys about it a lot. We do workshops every Wednesday for those looking to earn on their funds. And if you want to educate yourself for the future of what finance is, learn about crypto. Definitely speculate. You'll change your life owning digital assets. But the more you can educate yourself on DeFi, the more educated you're going to be for the future.
All right, Pete Jr. I'm sorry, Peter Schiff is just disgracing your name there. And give a big shout out to Pete Sr. I hope he's still around. He's probably a pretty cool dude looking at you. All right, now speaking of DeFi, what's one of your favorite what's Josh's favorite DeFi project?
Josh's favorite DeFi project?
They call him the blank man.
Yeah, Ondo. I would call it more RWA, but yeah, Ondo.
Yeah, you could probably make an argument for both, maybe more specifically RWA, but 21 shares now filing with SEC for a spot Ondo ETF. And this is going to just track the spot price of Ondo, the native token of Ondo Finance, and the utility of Ondo. If you don't know what Ondo is, utility token of Ondo Chain. It's a layer 1 proof of stake blockchain with a focus on RWAs, on institutional grade financial markets. So a little bit of DeFi and mostly RWA here. And Trump's family has been a backer of Ondo Finance. And looking at Ondo, we did some price predictions. I don't remember how long ago, but look how perfectly that played out there. Came perfectly to our level of resistance. We were looking at that. You can see is acted as support here, acted as resistance there, and acted as resistance during the first dump, and also acted as support right there. So marked that level a long time ago. We're flirting with the level right now. I do think we're going to exceed that level. Now you need to look at DZ's next stop point, the next speed bump on the Ondo train. It's going to be $1. First time it cooled down during the first run up there. So keep an eye out on that level. We'll keep the blue lines right there. 150.7. Now you ready to talk a little Aussie here?
Yeah, let's do that real quick. Just wanted to mention, I didn't realize today was Wednesday. So we do the workshop's going to be happening in our Discord today at 3 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're in there. But yeah, what do you got on Mr. Osborne?
All right. Well, Ozzy Osbourne did pass yesterday, and the death led to a surge in his NFT collection. What's happening right now? So we won't get too much into the NFT, but he chose the bat as his mascot. If you don't know the story, he made headlines when he bit the head off a bat during a live performance on stage. So definitely one of the most famous moments in rock history, evolved into both a legend and a meme over the decades. Before the internet, I think every kid in elementary or middle school knew about Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off a bat there. Very, very iconic moment there. He was actually hospitalized after that. They had to test him for rabies, not in this article there. But I went, and I'm probably going to have to move it again. Yeah, look at the sales are going nuts here. So we gotta wait for this, give it about 2 more seconds, and we're gonna scroll to about 21:22. Up here we go. So sales were flat, fell all the way down to 0.01, 0.01, 0.012. You can see 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, really not 7 days ago, not really moving too much. There's like a few in that day, 1 on that day, 2 on that day, 0 4 days ago. So, the sales they're okay. Floor price 0.1. And then the news broke. 22 hours. So this is just in a 1 hour gap. Sales went nuts, folks. Floor shot up. Floor went all the way up to 0.08, 0.09. I'm still on that same hour. Okay, now we finally went to 21 hours ago. But then the floor started to dump. You can see it going to 0.18. You can see the nicer ones going 0.13. So it went from 0.01, basically did a 10x to 0.1. Where's it at right now? I might be able to just do it like this. The sales are going nuts today, obviously. Going all the way to top, floor is fallen to 0.5. So NFTs, it's probably going to just be an indicator of what it's going to be like. When there's a hot narrative, you get in, you get out. Get in, get out within like an hour sometimes.
Yeah, I would say NFTs are the old man's meme coin almost these days.
Yeah. I mean, I should have sold my mutant into Bitcoin, but I needed that NFT drop. I'm going to get a coda. I thought I was getting a coda. J-Chains, everyone thought we were getting a coda. J-Chains did get a coda.
I was saying we got a coda. They just weren't worth anything.
No, there were 20 ETH out gate.
Out the gate, yeah. I'm just, what
if
are they
you
worth?
sold immediately,
yeah, if you
now
sold,
they're worth nothing.
Yeah, they were all valuable if you sold them, but nobody sold. That was the problem.
The collection is other side.
Yeah.
I'm actually almost wondering here. Other side codas were from 20 ETH to 1.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're still worth $5,000.
Not nothing.
Oh, this was an airdrop from your other side land. So you still have the land, but then you got this in addition.
Yeah.
So you also have an asset worth like $500.
I wonder. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should have sold. Everyone should have sold there. All right, now let's talk about the crazy crypto story that doesn't go away. The crypto pastor, and he was passing out some scams, is what he was passing out. Colorado pastor and his wife indicted in a $3 million crypto scam. We covered this story, but now here's the update. Yesterday, he got indicted on the scheme that raised more than $3 million from his congregation. They're indicted on 40 counts from this multi-million-dollar scam. Now, if you don't know, between January 22 and July 23, they solicited $3.5 million from their congregation to buy INDX coin,
a
token they created and sold through their own exchange platform. They then spent over $1 million on personal expenditures, including a home renovation that they claimed the Lord told them to do. While only a small amount of the proceeds actually went into the business venture, and they are now arrested. Now they're indicted with the 40 counts there.
Yeah, they should be. I mean, that's really that. At first, I was thinking, like, how do you lose money when you bought like they bought the bottom of the bear market? They should be up for everybody in that congregation, but no, they made their own scam token. I mean, what makes me sick when you see scammers scamming, people that are just looking, they have some hope and they're looking for something new, and you see somebody taking advantage of that. Really, that makes me not happy.
No bueno there. Looking at the position did not fill. We still got some other positions, 286, 288, but might not fill those lower orders. We came kind of close. So I had an order here And we have an order here on this long. We just basically kind of just grab some extra liquidity sweeps. We're trading on L Bank, and there is a link down below if you want to do a little trading here. Low leverage, be safe. Start with like, very, very small amounts. And we also had an entry right here at 286 on the dot. Another low liquidity sweep. Don't know if they're going to fill. They might start running. The best way to determine that is look at Bitcoin. Has Bitcoin kind of reversed on some of these small time frames? RSI, are they continuing to do so? Bitcoin's starting to show some strength. So this is looking good. Seeing that the RSI is near this level while the price is lower, typically can give it the fuel needed to at least get back up to here. So I'm betting on Bitcoin, maybe bouncing on Wednesday, and we're going to be pretty happy on Thursday, folks.
There you go. Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, smash that like button on the way out. We're going to have a very special Drew stream later. Let us know down in the comments what you think about the Drew streams. Show up, show him some support, and try to trigger him with some conspiracy theories.
And we've got that Discord workshop for DeFi at 3 p.m. if you want to be in our Discord. We'll see you guys soon.